Picture this, a chilling July evening on an empty country road in Bucyrus, Ohio. The air turned ice cold in an instant, like stepping in a freezer. A metallic taste flooded my mouth, pure adrenaline. I'm Shane Luthold, a local trial judge who deals in hard facts. But that night in 1985, as a 15-year-old runner, I stumbled upon a terror that defied reality. Something enormous lurked in the cornfields, watching, waiting. I ran for my life, my heart pounding as my shadowy pursuer kept pace, effortlessly. This was no ordinary night. What I encountered was the stuff of nightmares. I was out for a run, the evening sky a deepening purple as the sun dipped below the horizon. Everything was serene, the scent of ripening corn in the air. But then goosebumps crawled up my neck, not from the evening chill, but a sense that I wasn't alone. The whispers of crickets and distant dogs faded into an eerie silence. I glanced toward the cornfield. Something was moving, not swaying gently, but shifting with purpose, as if an unseen giant stalked through the rows. My mind raced, trying to rationalize. Deer, perhaps. Yet the movement was too calculated, circling, testing. I stood frozen, heart pounding, as the air turned suddenly frigid, my breath visible, even in July. The rustling stopped abruptly, as though aware of my watchful eyes. In Ohio, big predators are rare, mostly coyotes, but whatever lurked there didn't belong. Instinct screamed to flee, but as I sprinted, the thing in the corn matched my stride, a shadowy hunter playing a terrible game. I stopped, and it stopped, perfectly in sync, like it was reading my mind, understanding my every move. This was intelligent predatory behavior. I realized this wasn't just an animal. It was something far more sinister. Panic surged through me, and I sprinted again, faster than I ever thought possible. Yet no matter how quickly I moved, it stayed in step, a relentless shadow. Then a chilling sound, a cornstalk cracked ahead, not beside or behind, but directly in my path. It wasn't just following, it was predicting, planning its next move. The realization struck like ice. It was toying with me, letting exhaustion set in. Desperation fueled my legs, but my body began to betray me. Vision blurring, heart pounding. I slowed down, gasping for air, stopping and listening intently, but the silence was more terrifying than the pursuit. It waited, calculating its next strike. The cornfield's edge was near. A choice loomed, my home or a friend's, but the fear clouded judgment. I mustered the last of my strength, pushing towards the safety area, aware that escape might be an illusion. I was sprinting faster than I ever had, my lungs burning, the cornfields a blur. But no matter how fast I ran, the thing in the corn kept pace, effortlessly. I stopped, hoping to catch my breath, and it stopped too. Right on cue, like we were connected. I pushed myself to run again, my legs feeling like they might give out, but I knew stopping wasn't an option. The cornfield's edge was in sight, but the creature was relentless, matching my every move with precision. My mind was racing, heart pounding in my chest. There was an intelligence behind its actions, a calculated strategy to wear me down. Exhaustion crept in, my vision blurring as black spots danced in my eyes. I slowed down, my body on the verge of collapsing. I stopped again, hands on my knees, gasping for air. The silence was deafening. The creature was watching me from the shadows, calculating its next move. Cornfield's end was near, and I knew I had to make a choice. Head towards my house or my friends, aware that either way, the creature might be waiting. Gathering the last of my strength, I started running again, slower but determined. The creature matched my pace, lurking in the corn, a constant reminder that escape wasn't guaranteed. As the cornfield ended, I braced myself for what was to come, knowing that the encounter might not end in my favor. As I reached the edge, the field remained silent, the creature hidden, yet its presence lingered in my mind. In that moment, I realized that the cornfields held secrets, and sometimes those secrets were more terrifying than anything I could imagine. Imagine the cornstalks, towering like ancient sentinels, whispering secrets as the wind picked up. Each step I took was a test, echoing through the silent rows. The creature, unseen, yet ever present, moved with a chilling grace, a ghost in the maze. I remember the stories, the legends whispered among the locals about strange sightings and eerie encounters. But legends were supposed to be just that, stories, not reality. Yet there I was, living a nightmare that shouldn't exist. I could almost feel its breath, hot and rancid, a reminder of what was at stake. Every instinct screamed to run, but logic argued otherwise. I was trapped in a dance of survival, my every move mirrored by an unseen foe. The cornfield stretched endlessly, a labyrinth with no exit except one, and I was its unwilling participant. Panic clawed at my mind, but I pushed it down, focusing on each breath, each step. I couldn't afford to falter. Not then. Not when the stakes were so high. At the final edge of the field, hope flickered. Freedom was within reach. But so was the unknown. What waited beyond the corn? I burst through the final row, heart hammering, and looked back, expecting to see it emerge, triumphant. But the field remained still, the creature cloaked in shadow, a reminder of the terror that lurked in the night. Imagine reaching the end of the cornfield, your lungs burning, each breath a battle. You're about to step out of the maze and confront whatever's been hunting you. Nothing could prepare me for what emerged from that corn. The field ended at a dirt crossroad. My house was to the right, but safety lay to the left, where my friend's house was even closer. My heart pounded like a drum, each beat a reminder that I was still alive, still running. As I turned left, every muscle screamed in protest. My legs felt as if they'd give out, but I kept moving, driven by the sheer will to survive. And then it stepped out, silhouetted against the moonlight sky, a figure so terrifying it seemed to have leapt from a nightmare. Standing 7 feet tall, it moved with a grace that was both fluid and unnatural. It was bipedal, like a man, but this was no human. The head resembled a German shepherd's, but larger, more angular. Its ears were high and alert, tracking my every move, and its teeth gleamed in the moonlight, giant and canine. The body was grotesque, yet powerful, and arms hanging down past its knees, ending in massive paws. It didn't move like any animal I'd ever seen, and certainly not like a man. It was something in between, something that defied nature. Our eyes met, and a shiver ran down my spine. Its gaze held an intelligence that was chilling. It wasn't just an animal. It was a predator, an apex predator, and it knew it. I was nothing more than prey, and it was toying with me, feeding off my fear. The eye contact lasted only seconds, but it felt eternal. In those moments, I understood its power, its dominance. It had been testing me, studying how I moved, how I reacted. It was a game to it, a deadly game. Then instinct took over. My body moved before my mind could catch up. I turned and ran, driven by something primal, something buried deep in my DNA, passed down by ancestors who had survived predators long ago. Each footfall felt heavier, the creature's presence looming behind me, unseen yet felt in every fiber of my being. I couldn't hear it over my gasping breaths and blood pounding in my ears, but I knew it was there, just out of sight. My friend's house appeared ahead, a beacon in the darkness. The pool shimmered like a black mirror, offering a chance at safety, or maybe just a temporary reprieve. Without thinking, I launched myself off the deck, diving headfirst into the water, fully clothed. I was submerged in the darkness, at the bottom of the pool, holding my breath like it was the last thing I had control over. The water was cold, a stark contrast to the adrenaline-fueled heat coursing through my veins. I pinched my nose shut, pressing myself against the concrete floor, trying to become invisible. Looking up, I could see the sky, a dark canvas above me. Every flicker of shadow at the pool's edge could have been it, the creature that chased me, stalked me, the one that seemed to defy everything I knew. How long were those arms? How long were those arms? Could they reach down there in the depths where I thought I might be safe? The terror of needing air was overwhelming. Each second felt like an eternity. What if it was waiting just above the surface? What if the moment I gasped for air, it would be there, ready to strike? But my body couldn't hold out any longer. Instinct took over, and I kicked upwards, breaking the surface with a gasp, my lungs burning like fire. I spun around, eyes wide, heart pounding. The yard was still, the pool deck quiet, but I couldn't shake the feeling. It was still there, watching, waiting. The dash from the pool to the back door was a blur. I slipped on the wet concrete, fear driving me forward. Each step felt like a mile with the weight of terror pressing down on me. I reached the door, my hands trembling as I turned the handle. It swung open, and I stumbled inside, slamming it shut, with finality that felt both comforting and terrifying. Dropping to my knees, I crawled to the window, peeking out from behind the curtain, scanning the yard for any sign of movement. The cornfields stood silent in the distance, but I knew it was still out there, lurking in the darkness. That night I refused to leave my friend's house. My parents had to come in and get me, and I didn't care how it looked. Fear had taken root deep inside me, a constant reminder of what I'd seen. Years later, I learned about similar sightings, strange encounters that were documented but never explained. The Defiance Police Department had opened up an investigation years before, but it went silent. Just like that night in the cornfields, the truth remained hidden. The creature let me live, but the question haunts me. How many others were so lucky? The fear is real, and the stories whisper of secrets too terrifying to face. But if you think these tales are just stories, think again. Sometimes the shadows hide more than just the night.